Hello, my name is P. Sadatoro and I'm here with Trevor and Leisha Mack. They're going to talk to us about living with sickle cell. Trevor, I know him as Trevor, but everyone out there probably knows him as Gate Crash Sounds. He's a carer of Leisha Mack, and he's going to tell us how Leisha and how it affects sickle cell affects his life as a carer. We lay a lot of emphasis on people with sickle cell and tend to forget about the carers. So my first question to you, Trevor, is how has you caring for Leisha with sickle cell affected your life?
Well, before I go into all that piece, right, what I would tell you sometimes you feel like you've been put in a washing machine, the machine spin you around, dry you out, and when you dry and you put the clothes back on, it starts spinning again. You know, sickle cell can be, it's hard. It's just hard to see your daughter suffering all the time, and
Yeah.
And what can you do, because you're kind of helpless. I'm a man of many resources, but yeah, when you're in the hands of others, and sometimes people don't understand, and things go from day to day, and in the end, if you have each other. That's what it go.
The second question I want to ask, there's a lot of sickle cell awareness out there at the moment. When you were dating, obviously with Leisha's mum, was you aware of sickle cell? Did you have any?
Yeah man, not the early days with sickle cell. Before even Oscar Birmingham started, because I know the original Oscar, you're going back into the 90s. But basically what happened, right, now, I knew I was a carrier.
Yeah.
And Leisha's mother, I didn't know she was a carrier, but at the end of the day, there was a 1 in 3 chance of how it was.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, it's all about whether you decide you take a life. No, that's not in our hands.
Yes.
Right? Now, to be honest, right here, when Leisha was born, right, we were actually told that she didn't have sickle cell, because it wasn't the time when everybody actually had blood screening. Yeah. Because what happened is, right, in those days, not well in our time when that was happening, is we had a letter from the hospital saying that she wasn't fully born. However, what they didn't undertake was that her mother's blood was still in her.
Yes, basically.
Right, yes. So how that actually happening is that actually found out that Leisha had sickle cell was when she was actually going to nursery. Yeah. And she was a childminder for a time, and we go to nursery, and then she was always sleeping. Yeah, even Miss Campbell, but then she used to come home in pain, and we'd take her to the doctors. But everybody said she didn't have sickle cell, so it wasn't an issue. So when she started to go to nursery now one afternoon, when I picked her up from nursery one afternoon, we're noticing that weren't right, and her lips went blue.
Wow.
So we rushed her to when we rushed her to the children's hospital at the time.
Yeah.
That was when she was having her first crisis. She was actually having because you have hand crisis first.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's
when the fingers swell up and the feet
yeah,
swell up?
It's when all the blood rushes into the hand. And then from there, that the trouble started, that moved on to food crisis.
Yeah.
And then they moved on to splenectomy crisis.
Wow.
She was probably about 17, 18 months when, at the time, because when the doctors have talked to you, you're in the hands of others.
That's right.
So when it comes to splenectomy crisis, additions have to be made, because the spleen is like this for who don't understand it. That's how it was explained to me at the time.
Yeah.
To make a decision that the spleen act like a sponge.
Yes.
So when there was crisis and you were having a crisis, a splenectomy crisis, Leisha would have this crisis, we'll go through the regular stuff, morphine or whatever, and you come out. And then the spleen will go back to normality. However, the spleen got to a situation where it went like that, and it wouldn't come back. So we were advised, well, that's not a decision. So the first operation was when she was about 18 months. So we had to go down that road. We went down that road, and plenty of crisis in between, in and out of the children. And there's no tomorrow. So it became it became a two-way thing because my Alicia's mother at the time, we had to do a 24-hour sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah? I know you might also see me Alicia at the time was kids choose who don't want to deal
Of course, yeah.
So we had a share responsibility because it's not easy. One person cannot do it, yeah? So when Alicia was having crisis after crisis, our mother would be in the hospital at night time. You know, we would kind of share it. So that moved down with all its problems, and it's frustrating because back in those times you go into the hospital and every training nurse you have to, what is sickle cell? What is sickle cell? You're already having a, you know, you see youth in crisis and
you've got to be answering all these unnecessary questions.
Yeah. So you have a lot of frustrating times going around that, yeah. And then, like I said, I remember when she reached about the age of 12, because we had the episode where there was a stroke, and so that set things back. That set things back. So when we are down 12, went through a few, we go through the ups and downs. Like, that's why I don't like this, because I might start sounding emotional. Right?
No, this is what we have to let the audience see, that sickle cell is not just something we talk about, this is a real life situation from a father and a daughter, and we need to let people know that this is, this is real, and people need to get behind sickle cell awareness and try and, help to find a cure. I mean, your frustration, it just leads on to my next question. Do you feel guilty about Alicia's condition?
No, man. At the end of the day, it wasn't in our hands that. Yeah? It wasn't in our hands that. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you do, what can you say? All I know is that we're there some, well, we're not going nowhere, right? Yeah. We're not going nowhere. I know other people might say there's not a disease or whatever, but it's a food journey.
Yes.
It's my journey at the moment, Alicia's journey. So, there's been a lot of negative side now, but one thing, Alicia ex-Maroon from the Caribbean like myself.
Oh, you're from
yes,
Maroon?
I'm
reading about the Maroon, so that's kind of good.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we come from strong background for fight.
Yes,
for fight.
definitely.
So every day we have a fight, but we keep positive, we keep moving. Sometimes the system move against you, but what can you do? Yeah?
Just keep fighting.
I would say this to the young person, any young guys watching this channel. Listen, I'm talking nice and clear to you, but I'm very much a ghetto youth, and I can talk them style here. And I've seen everything. I may have defense at everything. However, no matter whether you have bad man, this, that, or whatever, when sickle cell lick and you see your loved one in there, you have no defense. There is no defense. So you have to understand to say, well, why some people, I don't criticize anybody for what they do.
Yeah.
Some people can't take the journey. Because if you ever been into accident and emergency, accident and emergencies, when you're having hand crisis, and all the veins collapse in your body, and you're holding your young one in there, you remember they was stabbed in the dark and you can't find it. Yes, man, and you have injection and you say, can you find a vein? You know what I mean? No big man cry, I'm not afraid to tell him he cry. No big man cry. Because remember saying, if I had to do a time, I would do the time.
Yes.
Yeah, if I had to take 2 punch from somebody, I'd do the punch. But there is nothing at all you can do but stand up and leave your trust in the hands of others. And sometimes people who don't understand how this thing, but you have a break from it, and then it's not easy.
It's not easy. I mean, what you just explained now would have answered my 5th question. Was what would you advise parents that have children with sickle cell, and how would they go and deal with it? I mean, you've kind of already answered the question by what you've just said.
I might have answered
a lot of parents, I know, it's broken up relationships, because once you're spending so much time with, especially even with the siblings, if you're spending so much time with Alicia, other siblings are being left out, your partners are being left out. So what type of advice would you have for the listeners in regards to that?
Well, there's a lot of that issues that will surround that, but everybody have to make a conscious decision. Yes. I make a conscious decision to say, well, I'm there, so. In between that, you can work it out in between, I guess. It's tough.
Yeah.
I won't pretend this is easy
Easy,
because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a lot of your time, yeah. You have to put into this and picking up the loved one with sickle cell sometime.
Yeah.
Like when she having a bad day, she bark after the weekend, you know, like it's, yeah, she was bark. You know, you just realize that, you know. But as much as sickle cell is one big issue. Another big issue I would tell any young man who's gonna walk into this, or any young person gonna walk into this, when them start to reach my age, peer pressure, tough. Yeah, when somebody reach 15, 16, I want to do it. Yeah, can't.
Give us examples. Let's embarrass Lisha a little bit.
Oh, well, we don't want to, I wouldn't embarrass her too tough or whatever, but because you tend to choose friends who probably, you can easily misled.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same whether you're sick or you're not sick.
Yeah.
However, you know, it's
She's got
choosing
to
the
know.
right
She's
people.
got to know her limitations.
Well, yes, and but that is where the peer pressure coming in because you, at the end of the day, yes, a lot of sicklers want to be just like anybody else.
Of course. And why shouldn't they?
Yes, and then so you know, so you can get to a state of acceptance, you know. You know, just about boy, this is what it is. So we have to just deal with it. You know?
Right, I was going to say now I'm going to ask a few questions to Lisha. I mean, she's been in hospital this morning, so I'm not going to pressure her too much. Just like her dad speaking, and my emotions are beginning to flare up, so I'd rather speak to Lisha for a little while because I don't want to